Emily Dickinson's My Life Had Stood a Loaded Gun. This is a poem that I find that students often enjoy very much, so I usually include it in the course. The first thing I would say about it, however, is don't worry about puzzling out every single word. Just sort of go with the larger impressions that you receive from the poem. The second thing I would say about it is really a question to you, and that is, who is the speaker in this poem? If you don't have a sense of it already, you can go back and look at it again with this in mind. The speaker is the gun. The gun is actually the speaker in this poem. And if you look at the very first line, my life had stood a loaded gun. So there's our clue that the gun is the speaker in the poem. And I think this poem has much to do with rage. And so we can see how that plays out. Um, my life had stood a loaded gun in corners, till a day the owner passed, identified, and carried me away. So the gun had actually stood in a corner with sort of an unidentified life, an unfulfilled life. It just sat there. If a gun is not used, then it really has no purpose until the owner comes and carries the gun away and actually uses it as a gun. And then we have lines about roaming in sovereign woods, hunting for doe, and then it says, every time I speak for him, the mountains straight reply. Well, when a gun speaks, it's because it's been fired. That's how it speaks. And the mountains straight reply. Well, the echo of a gunshot off the mountains. And the gun guards its master's head. To foe of his, I'm deadly foe. Well, if someone who owns a gun has a foe, an enemy, then that gun becomes deadly to that foe. Um, and it says none stir the second time. Well, if someone or something gets shot, they're not going to stir. They're not going to move a second time, right? And so, I think you can think about this poem as far as theme in terms of death and immortality, definition and ambiguity. How do those play off of each other? And potential and achievement. A gun speaks of ideas and images of power. So, what about the juxtaposition, for example, of a gun that is power in itself being carried away by an owner? So do we have power versus the helplessness of being carried away? So that would be then what? The opposite side of power or of being empowered. And you're not limited to just those themes, but those are some things that we can think about in terms of this poem. So, well, I hope you enjoyed the poem. Thank you.